Okay, all welcome to the very last part of the wedding venue build. Hope you enjoy it. It's been a bit long-winded, but you get to see kind of some of the process that goes into something like this. One of the major bugbears has been real pain is moving from shop to shop. I'm hoping that's coming to an end in the next 3 weeks. Yeah. So obviously, big moment for us here. Finally get to see the thing, even though it's upside down. I've got no idea how many hours I put into this, but it's pretty epic. Both of us did so much on it. As always with the sanding, there's no secrets. I work up from the grits depending on the last paper in the wide belt. I'm usually starting about 120, doing lots and lots of pads on 120. Work right my way up. On this one, we end up finishing on about 1,000, might even be 1,500, because I'm going to use Odies oil, my new favourite when there's lots of resin, with the wood. And plus this is a face, so we wanted it nice and shiny. So I'm using Odies oil here. If you haven't come across it, there'll be links in the description. The way I like to apply Odies, you can use one of these random orbital polishers or just your normal random orbital sander with a white Scotch-Brite. Just keep it going, just real small taps. The less you get on with the buff as you're applying, the easier it is to get off. So leave it for 2 or 3 hours. This is not a tabletop. You could leave it overnight if it was a tabletop, let it really soak in. But this is a front panel. So I've left this for 2 hours. It's really warm today, so it went in well. I like to use an old towel, something really large, like old terry toweling towel. Just keep flipping it, turning it, getting everything off. The classic way with Odies, run 2 fingers, look at it on the light, see if you can see any marks. If there's no marks, it's ready. And then you can just throw the towel in the wash and use it again. So to fix the panels, I'm just using the threaded inserts that I always use, and you'll see in a minute there's some sponge like a foam I think that's 3mm. I'm actually floating these panels because they're going onto steel and they're going to want to move a bit. They're actually just nipped up, they're not tightened. Here's the foam, they're not super tight on the front of the bar when we install it. The rubber holds it in place and it just gives it a bit of movement. So this is the 2-pack lacquer I was talking about, which I used on the shelves in the fireplace. This is a really hard lacquer. I'll put a link in the description where you can get it. Now I'm having problems here. The compressor we had was lost to the fire. I've borrowed a really small compressor. It's overworking, it's putting moisture in the lacquer. So what I'm having to do is denib, respray, denib, respray. Now I managed to get around this by basically polishing it like I would resin at the end, and the finish is fantastic. But these conditions were less than ideal. Okay, so this is a real shame. I lost some of the footage again. This is a rear panel, which is a light panel. It took a lot of thought. It's not a particularly complex build, but the reason I'm building this panel in this way is that the Philips Hue lighting, which is like an outdoor strip light, actually drops in from the top with wire in case the light fails after the installation. So there's 8 lights, 4 per panel, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, drop in. And so and they have a remote for that, this Philips Hue remote. I'll put a link to the lights we used. You don't get to see them in the video. I'm really sorry I lost the footage. But it just means that if a light fails, they can lift off the rear of this panel and they can literally pull the lights out and drop new ones in place rather than having to mess around. I may come back and do a video about this spray gun. I'm no expert. I literally bought it because we didn't have a compressor and it just got me out of a hole in between the gaps. I really do like it and there's no problem with moisture getting in, which was great. Okay, so we're pretty much loaded up the shelf. That's the whole bar packed flat. Got a lift table because we've got to reassemble the back wall because there was a problem with leveling the floor. And then we just got all this stuff. Got a lift table, all the lighting, all the different sorts of sustainers. That's one good thing about, I'm not really a site person, but when you do need to go on site, you can just fill it up with these things and it keeps everything in the same place. Still in scaffolding at this point. This was quite a while ago. It's all finished now. It is an epic, beautiful venue. I hope to go back and get really good pictures when it's all finished. So this was the first part installation. That's the wine fridge, drink storage. It's the new shelf just fitted. I'm really pleased with it actually. It fits really nice, really transformed it. Coffee area. So we've got this sink channel. We've got a gap, 50mm. Supply goes on the back and the lighting system goes in here. So these are slotted into the tops over there. So we're going to lower those on next. The old classic fixings here break down. All of these problems This is exactly what it's like where I work. Yeah, right. We work with lots of people and there's lots of room for... No, there's fucking not. Errors. I know we can, so easy to fit. This is all like hand sprayed Trump Floyd. We saw the artist doing it, and there's some upstairs in some of the other rooms as well. It's absolutely stunning. It's going to be like a wild jungle bar. So you can't see it here, but there's actually a whole rear panel with a light attached and 2 Allen keys that you push on with 2 silver handles, and the lights stay in the top, and then the bottom lights you dangle through before you put the top ones in for access. So there was like a special open evening for people that worked on the venue. You'll get to see some shots at the end, but I am hoping to go back for an official opening and get some proper shots of it fully functional. Also, the whole rear section of this has a stainless steel bar put in, which I've not even seen yet, and the light box that I built just goes above the back, like the upstand of the stainless steel, so they can pull the light box out if the lights fail.